Cancer. Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name's Carol, and this is going to be your January 2024 reading. Feels weird to say that. So today what we're going to look at is, for this month, is I'm going to call it like Shadow and Light series, I think, because what I want to do is I'm going to use the Light Seers deck to pull out some cards from my top row just to get an idea of, where you are. So I want to look at your energy, what you're sitting with right now. And in particular, I want to look at something that's unresolved, let's say from 2023, whether it's, something that went, it could be maybe something, you've been around, we're getting over holiday season, so it could be something that's come up in your shadow in regards to being around people. Maybe you were triggered during the holiday season. Maybe you've been dealing with something that is really, you really want to look at and get rid of. And because I know we always seem to want to start the year off fresh and new, and maybe there's just something you've been battling and it's time to get rid of, And so I'm going to ask the tarot about, what is it that Cancer needs to look at, what's coming up and I'm going to look at what's coming up in your shadow that's linked to this pattern that seems to be sitting with you. Maybe you're sitting with a particular emotion that needs to be healed. So we're going to be looking at, something that you need to heal. And we're going to look at your shadow, like I said, what's coming up that's linked to it. And then I'm going to ask the guidance using tarot, my Rider-Waite deck. We're going to look at what sort of guidance does the tarot have for you? So what do you have to do in order to heal? What needs to be done? There's something that maybe you need to let go of something. Maybe you need to look at a particular emotion. Maybe you need to learn how to ground. Maybe you need to start journaling. So we'll see where that goes. And then I'm going to give you some advice from my other channel. And my other channel is called Carol Cares. And that channel is all about your mental health, your emotions, your journaling, grounding, all different emotions and processing your emotions. I'm going to recommend usually a video or two at the end for you. All right, so let's start off with the Light Seers deck here. And I'm going to ask for, 1 to 2 cards for each area. So let's look at right now what situation you're dealing with right now. So 1 or 2 cards to come up with what situation you're dealing with right now. And that one seems to want to come up here. So the 4 of Pentacles in reverse is coming up for you. Ooh, I think we got a lot of cards here. So I'm going to put, I guess I can take them all. The 10 of Swords, the Wheel in reverse, and the 6 of Swords here for my top row. And 1 to 2 more cards for some advice from the tarot. Advice from the tarot, please. This one just flipped right open. The Chariot. All right. So let's talk about these cards before I get into more clarification with the Rider-Waite. And the 4 of Pentacles is the first one. So this is the pattern that I'm seeing. Going to get a general idea of the situation you're in right now. And this is the 4 of Pentacles right now. This is the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. So let's talk about this card right now that's come up. And this particular woman is holding on to her purse of pentacles. Now, and in the background, I don't know if you see it, but there looks like there's some kind of a bazaar or something going on where, she could go there and buy something. That used to be me when I've been on a cruise before, and you'd get off and you'd look at the nearest little bazaar that I can go to buy something in my other life. And so this card always reminds me of that because, did a lot of spending, souvenirs, kind of, that kind of a thing. But she's looking like she's not going there, right? She's holding on to her purse, holding on to her pentacles. Now, pentacles can be about your material, anything material. The pentacle itself is your body. has everything to do with getting into your body. It has everything to do with grounding yourself. It has everything to do with your work, your health. And so this is in reverse right now. Now the 4 itself is a very stable card. It's a grounded card, but it's in reverse right now for you. So I'm seeing that you're sitting in a period right now of being very ungrounded in your body for some reason. Whether it's you just have so many emotions going on, whether it's, maybe there's things are crazy at work, or maybe your work situation is, crazy. Maybe you're having some real issues with your health that are going on. And maybe, there's some financial situation for you going on here that's causing you a lot of stress. So the tarot will clarify exactly what it is, your situation that's going on right now, but it's really, you're feeling very unstable. You're very ungrounded right here. And for what's coming up in your shadow with this situation is you have 3 cards here. So we're going to look at the 3 cards, sort of maybe by themselves, how they relate to each other. The first card I'm seeing is the 10 of Swords upright. The 10 of Swords upright. So in your shadow, what's coming up right here is the 10 of Swords is, 10's always about the end of a cycle. The Swords is, the Swords is about your mental energy. 10 means you've been through something. There's a lot of mental spinning that's been going around, and it looks like it's really, you're kind of done with it. It's really catching up with you. Now in this particular incident, the crows are leaving, so they're not there as much. And I feel that the crows for me are these birds, very intelligent birds that come and give you messages. They really are messengers. And a lot of times if I see crows like really randomly or making a lot of noise, or sometimes I think, oh, there's a message I need to pay attention to. But they've left her. So it's almost like you're not even hearing anymore the messages. They're flying away. So there's something that has put you in this state that, and maybe you're not even hearing what's coming up from your shadow. And that could be because of, that state that you're in where you've just kind of done, yeah, I mean, you're ungrounded here for the beginning state. So let's see what's going on with the shadow. So, and then the wheel. So you're not feeling what's coming up with your shadow. And then the wheel card is in reverse. So this is the wheel of fortune that turns, right? The wheel of fortune that turns. And the wheel of fortune, and it's in reverse for you, but the wheel of fortune for me is when, it's kind of like the life wheel, like the life turns and shit happens. And we all are on this wheel. And so there's been some change of circumstance for you that's come up that's in reverse. So I'm seeing that, you're very hesitant to hear what's coming up from your shadow to deal with. And you need to, because there's been a change of circumstance for you lately that is asking you to deal with the situation. And the 6 of Swords comes up here as an ending card. And this card for me speaks to me of this woman taking herself away, and these messenger birds are pulling her. They're taking her to some, safer place where the waters aren't as rough. And in this Rider-Waite deck, it's I call him the gondolier that's kind of taken the woman and her child away somewhere to safer waters. So I'm wondering if you need to get yourself to a safer place because you're in a position where you're feeling very ungrounded. And there's been some circumstances, something has happened. There's been a change of circumstances for you. And the shadow's coming up saying it's time for you to get yourself to a safer place so that you can start to hear, what you need to heal and get back into your body and start to find out what these emotions are that you need to deal with. And yeah, so maybe I'm feeling like it's maybe that's what the Six of Swords is for me, is to mentally you're having a, Ten of Swords is here, so you've been through a lot, and I think it's time to get yourself to a safer place. And the Chariot one says, the Chariot card for me, the number 7. The number 7 is all about self introspection, self-awareness, going inwards, finally figuring out, what it is you want, what it is you need. And the Chariot card really is a call for us to go inwards. But because it's 7 and it's very early on in the journey of the Fool, this particular individual right here is, doesn't even have any reins that are connected to these horses. It's almost like he's using his own will to guide these horses. And when we're on this journey and we use our will to guide us, which means we use our ego when we're stuck in our heads and we're not in our body and not connected to our intuition, we're basically guiding these horses, guiding our life with our will. And that's what comes up for you in your guidance from the tarot. And so there is a call from the tarot that's saying, Cancer, you need to start to turn inwards so that you can get in touch with your intuition. Because this ego that's, been leading your life can only last for so long, right? It can only last for so long. So, and then we have to get in touch with what our real guidance is. Our internal guidance system is what it's called, our intuition. So let's pull some cards for our Four of Pentacles that's in reverse. For this woman that doesn't want to go and shop. Let's see what's up with her. And so what's going on with... I'll give us some more clarification on why you're feeling so ungrounded. All right, so let's look at hopefully, 3 cards I'd like to see for some more clarification. You have the 8 of Wands, upright. You have, and you have the 10 of Wands, comes after it, and then you have the Page of Cups. All right, so let's look at the shadow that's linked to this. What shadow aspect is coming up for us? Shadow aspect that's coming up for us. 3 cards, please. I have the 2 of Wands in reverse, the 9 of Cups in reverse, and one more card, please, and the Ace of Swords. All right, so 3 cards for the Chariot, please. 3 cards for the Chariot. Oh, too many, so I'm going to redo that one. That one kind of fell apart for some reason. The Chariot, 3 cards, please. They're all wanting to come out. Okay, the Hanged Man, and he kind of came out sideways. So, yeah, I'm just going to kind of leave him sideways for a minute. We'll see. And then we have the 9 of Wands and the 8 of Swords. Okay. 9 of Wands and the 8 of Swords. I like that. I like that. Okay. All right. So 4 of Pentacles. We talked about that a little bit. About feeling ungrounded. Just not Not feeling stable is what I remember saying. Okay, so the Eight of Wands is the first one. Eight for me. So first of all, Wands for me is everything to do with your spiritual body. So it's connected to purpose, what we want to do in this life, creativity, authenticity, finding out who we are. And it's interesting that this has come up, the eight has come up because, you're in a very ungrounded spot. And, a lot of times when we're ungrounded, we're really confused. I mean, I know when I'm very ungrounded, so many thoughts are spinning in my head and I don't even know what's what. And so the Eight of Wands is really, I think you're at a point where you're so feeling unstable that the Eight of Wands is saying, you know what? It's time to kind of take these wands and just throw them up in the air. Because what's working for you right now is not working. Like what you've been doing is not working. And so you need to kind of take another chance. An Eight of Wands is like that chance card that says, hey, listen, let's throw this up in the air and let's see what comes down. And so I think you're at a point where maybe you're feeling like you're about to try anything. You're about to try anything right now because you need to get out of the state that you're in right now. And the Ten of Wands comes right behind it. Right behind it. And this particular individual, this reminds me of somebody that's trying to hold down helium balloons, right? These wands aren't heavy. He's just trying to keep them down. He's just trying to, force them to stay where things are. And I know me when I've bought some helium balloons, I'm shoving them into my car, trying to keep them down. This is what this individual's trying to do. I just finished telling you that, it's time to throw something in the air, do something different. And there's this part of you, and it's usually your ego that says, no, we're not changing. No, we're keeping things status quo. We're keeping everything down. We're trying to keep everything down. But it's time to change. It's time to do something different because you're needing something different here. And when the Page of Cups comes up for me, and the page for me, all my court cards are parts of us. So there's a part of you, this is the page. So the page is for me a younger, very young part of you, a child, maybe, around 5-6 years old. That, if you know them, they love to feel. They feel all their feelings. So there's a part of you that is coming out here that wants to begin to feel what is going on. And the only way that we can get through periods of ungroundedness and instability in our lives is to start to ground our bodies, ground ourselves, get into our bodies, and start to feel. And so this is what this Page of Cups is saying. It's the beginning. It's like an offer of a cup here to start to feel, to try to get yourself in a position where, all right, I'm feeling all this shit, all this spinning in my head, and it's time to start to feel. Because what's coming up in your shadow is that whole thing of, there's been some circumstances that have happened in your life, and these cards are showing that you need to get yourself to a safe place. And I think why your shadow is saying you need to get to this safe place is so that you can find stillness and that you can start to feel what's really coming up. Now, the Two of Wands has come in reverse. And for me, the Two of Wands is that, and like I said, the Wands for me is our spiritual sign. It's our creative sign. It's our purpose. There's something going on here. And there is in your shadow a little nudge to go in a different direction. It's coming out. There's a little nudge here for you. And that's what the Two of Wands is. It could be a nudge to do something creative for yourself. And I'm not talking about writing a book or becoming an artist or a singer. I'm talking about And even the little step of putting yourself first is a creative thing. It's something you're doing different. What can you do different? There's something that in your shadow is saying, what little thing can you do different here to get yourself grounded, to get yourself in a safe place? Because that's what we've established here. Your shadow wants to get you into a safe place. But this nudge is in reverse here. So you're not seeing it. There's a resistance to seeing it. And the 10 of Cups here, or sorry, the 9 of Cups has come up. And the 9 of Cups is, I mean, look at this individual here. He's sitting there, you know, I have all my 9 cups. I'm good. I'm good to go. And I don't need another cup. You know, the 9 is the initiation into the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is that full range of emotions that we're supposed to feel. We're not supposed to have any of these stuck emotions in us. Emotions are supposed to flow in us and then flow out, back and forth. And this individual says, you know what? Got my 9 emotions. I'm fine. I'm done. Like I'm good. I'm good. But he's in reverse. So there's a real resistance to feeling that 10 of Cups and feeling that full range of emotions. I'm good. No thanks, you know, because it's tough. It's hard to go inwards and start to feel these emotions. It is really tough. And sometimes we're at this point where, you know, I've had all this therapy. I've done enough therapy. I'm done feeling. I'm fed up. I don't want any more. Believe me, I've been there many, many times. I'm done with therapy. Not doing it anymore, you know. I'm not going there anymore. Not feeling my shit. And this is what this individual is, you know, this is the guy that says, I'm done here. Not feeling, and now he's not feeling his shit anymore. He's done with that. But there's a nudge here that says, hey, listen, you know, it's time to go into a different direction. So there's a real big resistance to going in another direction and feeling. This is the offer from the universe. You know, it's coming up in your shadow. And the offer says, it's a sort of authenticity. Who are you? You know, here's this little nudge that says, here, I want to take you into a different direction. I want to take you in a different direction. You know, I want you to start figuring out who the hell you are. And maybe that means putting yourself first. You got to get yourself safe. You got to get to safety, because none of this work, the shadow work, can be done. None of this healing can be done when you're not in a safe place, because you are being triggered all the time. And sometimes if you're in a traumatic, something that's going to trigger you all the time, it can actually be re-traumatizing for you. And that's why you need to get into a safe place. Because this Ace of Swords is an offer from the universe. And when an offer from the universe comes up, it's really asking you to take it. And the Ace of Swords is saying, like I said, it's all about authenticity, and it's saying, who are you? This is your chance to figure out who you are, you know? Who you're taking your life into a new direction, just a small little step that's going to try to get you into a grounded place. And the Chariot, we talked about the Chariot coming up. The Chariot is, you know, that will, we're driven by our ego, you know, all the time. And the ego is going to take us here, and the ego is going to take us here, but we're not going inwards, because going inwards means we're getting in touch with our inner guidance, our intuition. And the Hangman came here, and it's kind of it's not really sure which way it is, which is good. So the Tarot says, you know, the Tarot, this Hangman upright is where the Hangman for me is this guy. He's pretty comfortable here. There's no pain whatsoever. Very comfortable. And the Hangman is someone is just very comfortable with trusting their inner self. Not very comfortable so much with when you're living in your head and your ego, because that doesn't last for long. But what really lasts for long is when you get grounded, you go inside and you start listening to your internal guidance, you know, that internal guidance system that's coming up in your shadow, that's going to bring you to safety first. And then it's going to bring you to a place eventually where you're going to be comfortable with listening to your inner guidance rather than your ego up here. Because the Nine of Wands is coming up. So I'm seeing that, you know, it's very interesting because both these cards that are here for you, two different suits, two different cards, both of them have set up this real boundary behind them. You know, I'm gonna go as far as saying I'm hearing the word walls. Somebody has really, you know, so the tarot wants to break down these walls for you. The tarot is saying, you know, the first wall here is this Eight of Swords. This woman who is completely blindfolded. Swords are mental energy, okay? Swords is this kind of ego energy that's been driving you so far. And the swords, the Eight is this woman that's so blindfolded from what's around her. She has put up all these walls and she's just kind of isolated herself and in her head, and just feels like she's so alone and there's nothing out there to help her. And this particular individual who's, you know, has all these 9 creative wands behind him, and again has gone through a real battle here, a real battle of finding out, like, of wanting to be them, you know, wanting to find out who they are, finding the purpose, finding your mission, finding your authenticity, your intuition. This is what this card's all about. So the tarot was saying that if you want to get into a more stable position in your life, and if you want to find more direction of where you need to go and get safe and just find out who you really are, it really is time to go inwards and start to, you know, look at some of your emotions and see that are coming up for you. What are some of them start to look at, start feeling, you know, and that's what's going to start to get you slowly out of this pain that you're sitting in. And so I'm going to suggest for you, before I pull a spirit animal card for you, I'm going to suggest that you learn about processing your emotions when they come up. You need to know what to do with emotions when they come up. So I'm going to give you a video on processing your emotions, and then right now I'm going to pull a card for you, a final oracle spirit animal card for you. And the card that I picked for you is Ant Spirit. And Ant Spirit is all about time to collaborate. I don't know if you've ever looked at an ant hill, and it's amazing to watch ants, and they all have their own jobs. They all have something to do. They're all collaborating. They're all working together. And I think you have this card because the universe is saying, listen, I want to help you. I want to collaborate with you. I want to help you get to a safer place. I want to help you deal with some of these really strong emotions that you have coming up or you're sitting with. And it's time. It's time, and I'm here. I have your back. And that was really hard for me to accept, that there was a higher power, there was something out there, whether you want to call it God, the creator, source. I call it universe. On this channel, so just more of a general term that, you know, because I have some, you know, non-believers, and that's okay. But it comes a point when sometimes in life we just need to grab on to something, you know, to get ourselves to safety, and trust that maybe the universe will get me there. So good luck, and I will see you next month. Bye-bye.